I have to admit, unlike any other year in recent memory, 2014 had to be the one filled with the most disappointing game releases. So many games that released this year fell way short of my initial expectations, and that may be my own fault for getting excited, but you know what, I'm gonna adopt the mindset of modern times, which is to blame everybody else but myself. It's time to give out the award for the most disappointing game of 2014. There were so many titles to choose from for this award, that it was almost overwhelming at first. Without even thinking, I could probably list half a dozen games that disappointed me this year while having a lobotomy at the same time. Infamous Second Son fell way short of my high expectations, with a story so thin I could mistake it for a sheet of paper, and characters with about as much depth as a fucking kiddie pool at a water park. Watch Dogs was a game that I enjoyed overall, but not nearly as much as I was hoping to, mainly because the hacking ultimately didn't change the game, and because Aiden Pierce was a character that was about as engaging as a cup of warm piss. However, one game fell fucking light years short of my very high expectations. This was my most anticipated title of 2014. And to this day, I still can't formulate a solid opinion on this title. It's honestly one of the few games I can't decisively conclude on. Even though it's generally not fun to play, I find myself coming back to this fucking game even though I know better. Sometimes I have fun with the game, other times the game seriously makes me consider drinking a bowl of cyanide while slashing my wrist with barbed wire and simultaneously pumping liters of heroin into my fucking eyeballs. This game's inherent design is so flawed, it feels soul-crushing. This game makes me sad after I play it for any extended period of time. But like someone with Stockholm Syndrome, I just keep coming back, which saves it from the wrath of being called a shit game. That doesn't make it any less disappointing though. The most disappointing game of 2014 is Destiny. I really want to love Destiny, and it should have been great. The hybrid of sci-fi and fantasy set in a unique and beautiful world, a persistent character, differentiated classes, and co-op with your buddies, even though I don't have any, as well as an MMO-style world filled with fun activities to undertake, and a detailed universe to explore. That's what Destiny should have been. What Destiny ended up as was a fucking grindfest so poorly designed it makes me want to take my PS4 and crush it beneath a steamroller. The missions in Destiny are fucking awful, and so poorly designed that a chimp with no hands who's missing half a brain could do better. The game is not hard, it's fucking unfair. This is particularly apparent in Strikes that comprise some of the worst missions I've ever had the misfortune of playing in a first-person shooter. Forcing you to shoot for 20 minutes, on end, at a boss with an enemy health bar that's longer than a black guy's erect cock, only for you to die at the last minute and start the fight all over again, because of the shit checkpoints. But without the special ammo or the super ability that you had when you first started fighting the fucking thing. Which means it's going to be harder than before. Oh, and then your other allies quit and you're stuck to fight the fucking boss on your own. This sort of stuff has made me quit so many times and forced me to sit at my desk for minutes, contemplating why the fuck I bought this game. I was playing one of the Strikes on the fucking on-disc expansion pack for an hour, only to reach a boss that had so much health I knew I was gonna fucking die. After 10 minutes, his health bar went down maybe a fifth of the way, after which I got my ass blown to Jupiter, forcing me to start all fucking over again with less ammo than I initially had. Who the fuck sat there and thought this was good mission design? The plot is so non-existent, even though the world is begging to be explored. The objectives in missions are identical to one another, and always involve deploying a ghost to scan some equipment, and the loot system is shit. You could play the hardest mission in the game and end up with useless shit, or a legendary helmet that you can't even use for your own class. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? You know what the saddest part is? The gunplay itself is well designed. PvP is a lot of fun, and the game looks good and the music is excellent. Like I said, the game should have been great, and can still be fun, particularly in PvP. But the amount of times this game has made me legitimately depressed outweighs the fun times. Destiny is a game that makes me feel like I'm wasting my life on absolutely nothing. When I play games, I want to feel fulfilled, and Destiny does not fulfill me. It makes me feel fucking empty, which very few games manage to achieve. Destiny is not a shit game. Fuck, it's not even really a bad game, but it's just painfully average. And so many of the issues present in this game make no sense, which is why it's the most disappointing game of 2014. Bungie's award is a copy of Halo 3 to remind them of the type of game they used to make before they decided to partner up with Activision, since their heads must be long fucking gone.